games, what do you miss most about playing snooker?
Um, I think the fact that you just immersed in the moment. There's something wonderful about playing the game. You don't think about anything else. It's something that becomes part of your psyche. And the happiest times of my life, I'm sure, have been playing snooker, where you're just immersed in the match, or immersed just in practice.
Yeah, not the practice side of it, the actual, the big game, the big occasion.
Yeah, well, both actually. Even the even the playing as well. It's sort of a freedom that sort of, the fact of when you're doing it, it's a wonderful thing to do, because it's all immersive. So I'd say that's the bit I miss most of all. It's not necessarily the competition, but it's the actual process of doing it. A bit like an artist would be painting a picture. They don't necessarily. It's not the picture afterwards. It's when they're doing it. Or a musician is making the music. It's not the record. When that comes out, it's finished. So whether it's matches or practice, the actual process I thought was wonderful, and your brain's just totally 100% immersed in it. So you have nothing else to think about. So you didn't have to worry about the past or the present or the future. Just the table.
Yeah, I mean, when we were out at, say, the Crucible, we were out on the floor. We're going to do something live for TV before the final. The atmosphere. I mean, there must be a little bit of you as well, like me. You'd love to have your cue out, wouldn't you?
Funnily enough, you more than me. I've sort of accepted. I don't know. I've just sort of went, oh no, that's another part of my life. I'm not really that worried anymore.
Really?
Yeah. So I think maybe I think probably there's a little bit more left in the tank for you that you never explored.
Yeah.
But I retired a lot later, well past my sell-by date, as Marcus would say. Whereas you retired and you were still a force, but you decided to jack it in earlier.
Yeah.
But I think I'd had enough. I think I'd had enough of playing, and I didn't want any more competition. So I don't miss that. It's nice to be involved in the Crucible, and obviously the final will be tonight. It's exciting, but I don't necessarily miss it. I think I had enough of it.
Yeah. Neldo_147. What's been your favourite moment in the sport outside your own career?
There is nothing else. No. What?
When I read the question, I know it's the question. Because when you're an individual sportsman, it's all about you. I mean,
honestly, it's all about you. I mean, I'm trying to be as honest as possible here. There's no point. There's no need anymore. I know it's nice to say you want to entertain.
Yeah.
But, and I mean, like, full credit to anybody who says they go out to entertain, but you go out to try and win, and it's all about you winning. And if you win, you're the happiest bunny out there. If you lose, you want to kill everybody. Whether you've entertained or not is beyond. So, what's the greatest moment other than?
I suppose what's the best match you've seen since you worked for?
Well, so many. Do you know what I think? I think probably, without trying to sort of pander to the masses a bit, I think I was involved, as you were, in the process of the game getting better and better. And I think to see players like Ronnie O'Sullivan and Judd Trump play the game. When at one stage I thought I was the best thing in the game and nobody was ever going to be better than me, right? To see those players and what they do on the table and the beauty with what they do.
Yeah.
I think, I can appreciate that now. Whereas if I was competing against them, I'd be hating it. But now I look at it and I'm gasping with astonishment at some of the shots the modern day players play. And, and Ronnie, it's
incredible.
Just amazing. And Judd Trump, just astonishing with some of the shots he plays, but not just those two. A lot of the top players now are just.
Richard, I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to put you on the spot. Both of them at their best, who wins in a world final?
I think Ronnie's best always wins.
Yeah, I think I would have to. I mean, Judd is obviously he's gotten so strong mentally, and his match play has improved so much. But it's just you just have to sort of favour Ronnie slightly if they're both at their best.
Yeah, but then, at their best, for a while, I thought possibly the only player who was capable of beating Ronnie was John Higgins, because I think he had the game to beat Ronnie. But then you've got the likes of Mark Selby, Neil Robertson, that also come into the equation. It's a lot greyer an area now, but Ronnie is best. I don't know. it's tough to oppose him if you're thinking about at their best. Yeah. But then you at your best, great as well. But it's really tough to judge eras.
Yeah. I also think it's very difficult in snooker because if one player's playing well, the other guy's in his seat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not as if you can reply straight away to like the other guy and say, well, okay, you've done that, I'll do that, because you can be in your seat for like 4 or 5 frames.
I mean, like I didn't have a great strike rate from behind. I mean, like you'd grab for the rag and it'd be in your mouth. No, but you came back against Jimmy White, which was astonishing. I don't necessarily think I could have done that in the final. I don't know, but I see Ronnie O'Sullivan. He seems to not have a care in the world in his chair, even if he's getting beat. He can come. He seems like he's got the same game behind and in front. But there again, a lot more of the top players are capable of doing that.
Yeah. Jude Murray.
Yeah, we've all got the glasses to read the words on the screen.
You what?
I can take them off, but I can't see anything. It's all a blur.
Sorry, to do with it. Who or what inspired you to start playing snooker?
Well, I was aware of it at an earlier age than most kids because of my father. It was his hobby, and so therefore, any television snooker, it was on that channel. There wasn't a lot of channels.
Did you start a small table like me or not? Did you start a small table or not?
Yeah, I had a small table because I got one for Christmas. Yeah, I had one for Christmas, and the table arrived at Christmas, but the balls were delayed in transit. So I had a Christmas present, a table and no balls. Perhaps that's how it. And the end result of that was that I was able to play snooker with my father at home. And then as I got a bit older, I started to go to a club. And I was my father was a decent-ish player, so.
Right.
He was able to sneak me in where most 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds would have not been allowed into a working men's club, a social club. Yeah. And it was a lot longer down the line before I went to a proper snooker club, a pay and play one. So I was a social club player to start with. Right.
What age did you make your first century?
17. It took me 3 years, but do you know it was tough back then. Thinking about it now, you see so much snooker. Everybody can learn from the players they see on TV. There wasn't much on TV to learn from, so I sort of felt like I had to make my own way, positionally anyway. I didn't know anything about positional play. I could follow the mechanics, but positional play was another story. I had nobody to learn from.
Yeah. So did you do like what would be? I mean, when you were young, would you do like lineups, or what was your practice? Did you play players, or you wouldn't even know these things, would they? Who invented the lineup?
Yeah, I seem to remember doing the lineup a bit sort of later on, but I mean, I used to play a lot of billiards as well, which is it doesn't really help your snooker, but it was something I could practice and play on my own. You can play on your own quite easily, but I was playing against club players who could barely make sort of 30 break, and they were considered quite good, So I had nobody to work out the right positional shots. So every now and again I'd bump into a good player. So what I had to do was I had to go in search of other players. So I had to leave my club. It's not like a gunslinger, but I went to find players to play against. I went to north of the river to play against a guy called Marcus Owen, an old professional. Bumped into a lot of good players who were billiard hall players back then. Yeah. And one of the players lost heavily to a guy called Vic Harris, who wasn't actually at that club. But then I went in search of Vic Harris, which led me to Romford in Essex. And that's when I bumped into Barry Hearn. So it was Vic Harris who was the instigator of me going to find better opposition all the time. Yeah. And then from then on, I was up and running, and he sort of helped me along the way in getting pros down to playing. Yeah. But they were early days. They were different times.
I remember you went through a stage where at professional tournaments, your warm-up before a match was playing billiards. Because I remember going to the practice room and thinking, what the is he doing? he's playing billiards before he goes out. What was the logic in that? It's just get your cue arm going or something? Or?
Yeah, to get my cue arm. Billiards is quite a free-flowing game of rhythm. Right. And the shots themselves are quite a lot easier than most pots. You're playing cannons and in-offs, and they're a lot easier. So they're all basically easy shots. And also it's more of a topspin, free-flowing cue action. And I felt it was actually sort of freeing me up from any tightness. But the games that doesn't really help your snooker because it's not a stun screw game. It's a stroke style game. But I did feel just before the match, it didn't hurt me.
Okay. I thought it was very strange. A lot of things I've taken from you, but that was one thing I was never going to go there.
Don't play. Billiards won't help you snooker.
Is asking, going into the 1986 World Final, did you seriously think Joe had a chance to beat you?
I didn't really ever look at it that way. I was happy going into the final playing Joe, but in a way, we all knew how good Joe was, so I never took him for granted at all. And, you know, the year before, I'd lost in the final to Dennis, who I'd never lost to before, and I'd given him quite a number of beatings. So, you know, I would be foolish to have thought that I was going to walk in.
And Joe was obviously a rank outsider, wouldn't he, get to the final?
Yeah, but he was playing a free style of snooker. He was playing like with no care in the world, it seemed. And his cue arm was free of any tension. And that's the way he played the whole tournament. But that's the way Joe's always played, it seemed. And he got on a roll and he was playing some great stuff. So from the moment the bell rung on day one, I felt like I was playing catch up to Joe's style. And he totally outplayed me for 2 days.
I always think that almost as good an achievement, him getting to the final the following year was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, because that crucible curse that we all talk about, nobody's ever got as close as Joe Johnson.
No, I know.